Welcome back to another episode of Hot Flash, your weekly hot air mini-sode, where sometimes we break down the heavy stuff, the hilarious stuff, and everything in between. I'm Josh, and today we're talking about something that I think a lot of us are feeling right now, even if we don't have the words for it. I truly didn't even know what this thing was until my most recent episode with equal rights activist Noelle Carney Campbell, which if you haven't listened to it, you need to go listen to her story about how she had this viral moment where she was fighting against a pride flag ban in Aliso Viejo. And she brought up this concept, and I was like, huh? I'm feeling it, but what is it? So, do you know the feeling when you're tired as fuck of caring, but you are also so guilty that you feel like you don't care enough, if that makes any sense whatsoever? Well, there is a name for it. It's called empathy fatigue, and it is hitting me hard lately, and it's hitting a lot of us very hard. So grab your emotional support water bottle because we all have one, and if you don't have one, you should have one because you need to stay hydrated or whatever you need. Grab a shot of vodka, perhaps a Xanax, which maybe I'll have that after I drink out of my emotional support water bottle as well. But let's get into why caring feels so damn impossible right now. It's heavy. Let's hit it. Part 1. What is empathy fatigue? So let's start there. Let's sort this all out. Empathy fatigue, which is sometimes called compassion fatigue, it's that feeling of emotional exhaustion that we get when we've been caring, supporting, or empathizing with others for so long that we have nothing left to give. Now, this is different than burnout, which is usually tied to work stress or productivity demands. Empathy fatigue is tied to emotional labor, constantly holding space for people's trauma, grief, struggles, or just existing in a world where there is so much happening all of the time. Think about how many global crises we've scrolled past in the last week alone: wars, mass shootings, climate disasters, political nightmares. On top of that, your friends or family might be going through health scares or financial struggles, relationship drama, and then there's your own life on top of that, which is on top of that, to deal with yourself. It's like our minds and hearts are running out of emotional bandwidth to even process it all. Part 2, the science behind it. Let's get nerdy for a second because you know that I love to bring some stats and some facts with me. Studies show that our brains are wired for empathy through something called mirror neurons. These fire when we observe someone else's emotions or pain, almost as if we are experiencing it ourselves. It's really like if I'm watching something where somebody like breaks their nose or something, I swear to God, even just saying it, I physically can feel something weird in my nose. If I watch something where like people are fighting, someone gets knocked on the head, I swear to God, I can feel it. That is how deep my empathy runs. So, when we're exposed to repeated suffering, tragedy, or emotional needs without a break, especially if we feel completely powerless to help, our mirror neurons can become overstimulated. This then leads to emotional numbing as a protective measure. Basically, your brain goes, I literally cannot process any more suffering right now, and I am going to turn off. Psychologists note that empathy fatigue is very common among healthcare workers, therapists, activists, and teachers. So Noelle Carney Campbell, an activist and a teacher, she must be feeling that empathy fatigue. People who care for others professionally. But in the age of social media and a 24-hour news cycle, it hits everyone in different ways, but it hits us all. Our nervous systems were not designed to process global suffering every minute of every day. We're tribal creatures meant to care deeply about our immediate community, and that's really it. Now we're asked to care about everyone, everywhere, all of the time. And we should be aware, and we should be caring, but that doesn't mean that it's not exhausting. Part 3, why now? So why are so many of us experiencing empathy fatigue right now? There's constant exposure. We're bombarded with information 24/7. TikTok, Instagram, news alerts. We see suffering in real time with no buffer. Also, the terrible comments, we see those. They pop up on our phone. If someone very Republican or very Democrat start going at it in the comment section, we're mostly notified and then we get dragged into that fight. There's also a lack of agency. We're exposed to tragedies we can't directly fix. This helplessness builds up into emotional shutdown. It is so hard to see something terrible happening and knowing you can't do anything about it. Then we've got our personal stress, which we are all dealing with our own economic uncertainty, health issues, or just straight up burnout from working our asses off. Add that to the global issues, we are just waiting for that emotional overload. There's performative pressure. Social media has made caring a public platform. We feel pressured to post about every crisis to prove that we care, rather than taking private actions that protect our energy and our mental health. Which is hard when you're trying to speak up for minority groups, when you're trying to be an activist. You feel like you just want to step in, and sometimes, again, you feel helpless. And well, it's all a toxic recipe. Endless information, plus personal stress, plus helplessness, plus performative pressure equals empathy fatigue. I'm saying it like I'm excited, but it's really quite draining. Part 4. How does it feel? So you might be experiencing empathy fatigue if you feel the following emotions. You feel numb or disconnected from other people's pain. You feel irritable or hopeless when seeing tragic news. God, I do all of these things. You avoid calls or messages from people needing emotional support. You sometimes feel guilty for not caring enough, whatever enough might be. You're mentally and emotionally exhausted by the world. So, if that sounds like you, I promise you're not broken and you're not a bad person. Your mind is just trying to protect you from emotional collapse. And I exhibit every single one of those emotions, every single one of those behaviors. And the part that I love about this and love about the podcast is that I did not have the word for it until somebody exposed me to the word for it. Empathy fatigue. And now I can say, oh shit, that's my empathy fatigue. Perhaps I need a vacay. Part 5. What can we do about it? Here are some strategies recommended by psychologists and activists to help with your empathy fatigue. Set boundaries. You are allowed to mute or take breaks from news and social media. Caring for yourself is what allows you to keep caring for others. That's what I said to Noelle. This all goes back to Noelle. This is what I said. If she doesn't take care of herself as an activist, she can't help the people that she wants to help. Just like in a relationship, if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot nourish your romantic relationship. Also, focus your efforts. Choose 1 or 2 causes that you can actively support, rather than trying to hold the entire world on your shoulders. Again, guilty. I get so caught up in all the crazy, terrible things that I'm like, I wish I could fly here, go there, go there, go there, and just care for everyone and try and be better and make a difference in the world. But I'm only one human, picking those 2 causes that I really stand by and focusing in on those. Practice grounding. Get out in nature, move your body, breathe deeply, go to yoga. This helps regulate our nervous system and calm overstimulation. You got to unplug, get back to Mother Nature. And it's important to find community. Share these feelings with friends or in support groups. Feeling alone in empathy fatigue certainly worsens it, as any negative feeling does. If you sit alone with it, you're doing nothing to help yourself. And we all know that we all experience the same negative emotions. It's what we really have in common, no matter where you are in the world, no matter where you are politically. If we just start talking about these things, then perhaps we won't feel so alone. You can also seek professional help. If your empathy fatigue is leading to depression or total withdrawal, therapy can help process it and build healthy emotional boundaries. And we know therapy is not cheap. That shit adds up, but it is worth spending the money to take care of yourself. And there are also way cheaper options. I did BetterHelp for a while, not sponsored by BetterHelp, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Wink, wink. I did BetterHelp for a while. It was my introduction to therapy and it was affordable in comparison. And I felt really good about it. So it was almost like it's better than absolutely nothing, right? And lastly, engage in joy. Counterbalancing your exposure to suffering with intentional joy. Laughter, creativity, rest, connection. These are the resistance to that emotional fatigue. Things that make you feel good. Just do them. Part 6, resources for deeper learning. If you want to learn more about empathy fatigue, here are some resources for you. You could read this book, Trauma Stewardship by Laura van der Noot Lipsky. Mouthful. But it's a powerful book on caring for yourself while caring for others. There's therapist podcasts like Therapy Chat and the Trauma Therapist podcast. Great episodes on compassion fatigue and sustainable activism. Or the Compassion Fatigue Awareness Project, compassionfatigue.org. They've got articles and free resources to understand the neuroscience and psychology behind this. So, as we close out today's Hot Flash minisode, I want to leave you with this. Caring is beautiful, but caring without boundaries is a recipe for collapse. The world needs you healthy and whole, not burned out and numb. Thank you so much for joining me today, and if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone else who might be feeling the same. You can follow me on social media, on Instagram and TikTok @_hotairpod. You can visit my website at hotairwithjoshuarobert.com, and we have that contact page open, so if you want to send in any stories you feel that are hot air worthy and fall in line with all of our recent topics, whether that's pride or mental health or modern dating, drop me a line. I would love to share your story or have you on as a guest. And of course, make sure you review, you like, you subscribe. That helps me perform well. And I do appreciate all of your support. I just looked today and I am in the top 20% of all podcasts worldwide. It was 30% when I started. 25% a few weeks ago. We're at 20%. Next goal, top 10%. I mean, why not make it the top 1%? Because then I won't have to pay taxes. Okay, but in all seriousness, next week's episode of Hot Air, the full episode on Tuesday, you are not going to want to fucking miss this. I'm shook. I don't want to say anything about it yet. I want it to be a surprise, or at least once I start marketing it in probably 48 hours. I have 2 guests on that were a part of a pivotal moment in queer history. I just think they are so inspiring. I absolutely adored talking to them. I had full body chills the whole time, tried to keep my emotions in check. I think I did a pretty good job, but you're definitely going to want to listen to their story. And that episode comes out this coming Tuesday. And until then, I'll see you next Tuesday.